It skimmed it, and like I don't know, like it didn't seem like you lost. Like at minimum, it felt even, but I didn't listen super close,
You,
so I
you
don't know.
both you and I felt like you won. That's
Yeah,
our
would
consensus. Yeah.
I would slightly lean you, and again, I don't want to talk too much about it because again, I didn't watch the whole thing, or even like I watched like parts of it, like at like 2 minutes at a time. But it felt like you had like more, I don't know, like specific claims, but I guess I'm like biased towards being convinced by those as opposed to like I guess her characterization of the movement, even though like honestly, like if I were to present like my current opinion on Gamergate as I understand it, it's just like it seems like there was a lot of harassment, like an unacceptable amount, and I feel like I would probably disagree with you on that basis because I know we both agree that there was harassment, but I think the disagreement we would have is how prevalent it was.
Waiting room. Let's jump in there. Hey, what's up,
Oh, there
everybody?
he is.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
I want to know the truth. Why are you going on 9 years strong? I
Oh,
want to know what it is. What drives you? What motivates you to keep this going? Is it for fun?
uh,
Are
well, it's
you entertaining yourself fighting randos on the internet?
to some extent it's fun. To some extent, I want to set the record straight on GamerGate. I want this record to be straight, and I want to fix. I want it. I the topic was supposed to just be the misogyny point, really, and we
No
we
more
both agreed.
lies.
We both
You
agreed
can't lie
beforehand.
to me. You're writing a book in the background, aren't you?
I'm not in the background even. I actually made a post on Kotaku in Action and GG Discussion. I might write an encyclopedia about GamerGate.
Is it an encyclopedia? Well, listen, if you make that, you'll make a lot of money because whoever you're fighting will probably post pictures up online of them burning that encyclopedia. So I'm
Probably.
sure that'll be profitable.
But it's not set in stone yet. I literally came up with the idea at like 11 o'clock last night, and I texted a friend and I texted my uncle about it, and then I made a Kia post saying, "Hey, is there any interest in this?" And the GG discussion post. So I've only talked about it with like two people, and I'm thinking about it though. When I get back from vacation, it could be a good thing to do. There could be think about it. Think about it. It's a physical thing. You don't have to worry about the links ever going down. You don't have to worry about archive.sis ever disappearing and we lose everything. It's a physical thing that people can have detailed with all the stuff about Gamergate in it, and they can just pull up like, oh, Calgary Expo, here's all the stuff. Operation Disrespectful Nod, here's all the stuff. Torrential Downpour, here's all the stuff. And they'll have all those resources at their disposal. Anytime they get into a debate with somebody about this, or you have like a historian who wants to research it, or even a journalist who wants to research it, they can do it. And get this, if we do the encyclopedia thing, we could do it live. I could be doing live research. This will help me in a few different ways. One, I want to get better
Hey,
at doing research. Two, I want to get better at streaming. Three, I want to get better at writing. So if I could do that, I could do that. I could also build that off into a better career later down the line.
Excuse me.
a career. Okay. Well, you ever heard of the book Behold the Pale Horse by what's his name? I think it's Milton Cooper or whatever, or Bill Cooper. You ever heard of that book?
No, I haven't.
Well, he did a huge. It was a big expose back in the day. He was a former naval intelligence officer, and he revealed information that remains hidden from the public eye. Anyways, if you go through that book, he does almost what you're talking about, but had to do with UFOs and a whole bunch of other stuff, and people, the main agenda around uh, why firearms are getting banned and all that other stuff. But anyways, he put like a whole thing together, and the book had like pictures and all types of stuff, and it sounds almost to the sense that what you're trying to make, because you're just gonna have a whole bunch of information on there for anybody to pull the resources from.
Yeah, and then if we do it live too, one that keeps me motivated because if I'm left to my own devices to do like several hundred hours of research on Gamergate and write that in written form with citations for everything, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind.
You
Two,
should have
it'll help with
you should have Chat GBD help you out with this. It'll make you write the book faster.
I got a
what do you
question
mean
for
by
you,
go ahead.
Tachyon. I got a question for you, and I'm not trying to be mean or anything. GamerGate is 9 years old. No matter any amount of research, information you put out there to collaborate anything, it's never going to change what the mainstream media's narrative on it will ever have been. There's nothing you are going to be able to do that's going to change anyone's actual minds on what GamerGate was. And the thing is it's been over 9 years. Why are you still on GamerGate?
To be clear, this is the only stream I've done about GG. I mean, it might have been mentioned in the background in passing, like 1 or 2, but like this is the only GG stream I've done since coming back.
Hack, you doing even one 9 years later is honestly really, really strange.
It's the
I
anniversary.
don't think it's really strange.
Well,
I mean, it's
I
still
mean, every
a super
year-
interesting topic, per se.
Well, every year, you know, on my channel, even though I've completely rebranded Lord Nurgle as a Warhammer channel, and I mean, I've
boy.
got a couple of other videos on there for whatever, but I completely rebranded the channel. But yeah, and once every
Warhammer
year,
Norgal.
well, I mean, like
That, you
every
should have went
year-
with that. That sounds good.
Well, Lord Nurgle is where I started out when I started
Yeah,
out.
I
With,
remember.
YouTube, you know, and I've just decided I enjoyed Warhammer a lot more than I do anti-SJW.
Fighting
and all that
fucking
stuff, you
idiots
know?
online. Yeah,
I
nobody
got
wants
tired
to
of it.
watch that shit because it pisses you off and it's not profitable. I got it. Warhammer's more profitable. It's more fun.
It's not even about the more profitability thing. It's the negativity.
It's
All
always
these
about
years of negativity just really got on my nerves.
It's not
over
gonna get you anywhere either because you're just gonna be, you know, they're gonna ban your channel and fucking you'll be sitting there. It's like the law of diminishing returns.
Now-
You're not getting anything.
Now, every year around this time, I will sit down in one of my streams. We will, because my friends group is still there, we'll talk about how that day, because we got together that way, because GamerGate was our history.
Hang on,
And we'll
guys,
talk about it.
Guys, I got a phone call coming in from my brother.
He's gonna fight his brother. All
No,
right. Bring him in.
I pressed no when I was about to text him, and I was gonna say I can't talk to you, but he called me right back after, so it might be important.
Well,
He's
go
ready to
handle
fight
your
you.
family business, man. That's important, dude. Go take care of it. Well, we'll be here. It's all good.
He's gonna fight him. He's gonna break down his door.
But yeah, I mean, it's just I see, like, anytime I get a notification or a question about doing something with GamerGate on a stream, it's always Tachyon that hits me up, and I'm like, why are we still talking about GamerGate?
That was pretty much my question, too.
He just showed me the text message. He just said the arms of Jericho are coming to your door.
I mean, if you want to talk about the ethics of journalism, I don't know why you would have to bring up GamerGate to talk about such a thing.
No, you want to just talk about
just going to come in with a bunch of baggage.
If you want to talk about ethics anywhere, it's all fucked.
Well, personally, I mean, it's not even about the ethics thing of it. It's just, no matter what you say or do, there's no debating. This is something I learned when I first got into all of this, and after a while, because I used to do the debate thing. I used to moderate debates and all that. I gave up on it when they had me moderate a debate.
Yeah, I watched you give up on it. It was pretty good. It was a good choice.
Like, well, no, it was like King of Pole and some other douchebag. I forgot who the fuck it was. And they asked me to moderate because they were like, "Oh, you're so good at it." I'm like, "Yeah, well, it doesn't help."
Come over here and waste your time on this. We'll waste your time on this shit, and then I'm gonna make some shit up about you and cause drama. That's fucking great, right?
Well, yeah,
probably what did happen, didn't it?
Pretty much. I was just like, I said,
I wasn't even there, and I know.
I just left and was just like, "Yeah, you guys just do whatever the fuck you want."
Yeah, like, you fucking idiots.
But I mean, it's just the whole thing about it is like, I learned over time that it was not productive to even debate people, because it just comes into exactly what this was: is, well, here's my problem, A, B, and C. Well, your problems are, well, here's what my thing.
It's
This thing is
entertainment.
A, B, and C. Well, your thing is wrong, and it is because A, B, and C. Yeah, well, you're still wrong too. A, B, and C. Well, you're a bigot. Well, you're an asshole.
Well, I guess it depends on why you're It depends on why you're debating them in the first place. If you're just debating them to win, then you're just a waste of time. But if you're debating them to like kind of test out your ideas and why you believe in what you believe in, I feel like it's still a useful tool.
But that's not what these debates are.
No. They're fake wrestling, man. This is fake wrestling.
I guess. I mean, again, I guess it depends on why you're going. You're a person you're debating can come in with that perspective.
Now,
why should
here's the thing. The book thing, fine, that makes sense. You got maybe there's people that are curious about it, maybe, and then they can go and find the book. But these, these debates, they're not. They're
not productive because
they're fake wrestling. The book thing's productive. Fine, if some fucking rando is like wants to find out what's going on in GamerGate, he can find Netscape's book. Tachyon Blue's book. And then bing bang boom, fine, you created, you may have changed somebody's mind or changed the course of history. You don't need to do a debate about it. You just need to chill out. And
it's fun.
Make a debate. Yeah, exactly. It's entertainment. You're here for entertainment. You're not here to change people's minds. All these people that showed up, you're either one side of the thing is that the polarization is already there. There's no neutral party in any of this.
Honestly,
stuff.
I did not go in meaning to say the N-word too.
What?
I was like,
damn it, Tachyon.
It's the name of it's a real group. You guys know.
I know that's the name of the group. You just say the gay
GNAA.
N-words of America, Associated of America, or whatever.
I know.
If I was it like that.
So actually, I feel like
now that motherfucker's gonna go off and be like, "Yo, that fool's racist because he used the N-word on stream."
I fought the racist on the line, guys. Look at how tough I am. That's what he's gonna do.
I allowed them to get to me
with Vampire Tommy Wiseau, and now Tommy Wiseau's gonna go off and be like, "Yeah,
I'm never gonna read your book because you're racist."
I do genuinely think though that we have this weird
fear.
Have
ChatGPT getting all the N-words out.
We do have this weird fear though of words though. Like it depends on the context in which you use them. That's what should matter, not the idea that like, oh, I said a word, therefore you're a moral monster. I think. Well, that's ridiculous.
We can have that talk. But also, Foodshops was on YouTube, and you can't say that on YouTube. So.
I'm on YouTube too. So I have to take it down and edit it out.
I agree with you, Tachyon. I agree with you that the context of usage of words should matter more. It's just that like we said is YouTube will wreck your channel for crap.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna.
I want to see more destruction on YouTube, even though I'm paying for YouTube Premium.
I mean, if you want my advice, Tachyon, one, you allowed this individual to dictate and control the entire discussion rather than you even.
I ruled, yeah.
The whole time you were on the defensive.
You're right.
You can't be on the defensive all the time. And the other part is you couldn't keep your cool. You kept on just like losing your shit and spurging.
Yeah.
And when you spurg, you lose, you fail. Because it makes you look worse. This is why I said what I was saying while you were gone is whenever I was involved with all of this stuff, I started going, okay, instead of having debates with people, I'm going to bring people on and we're going to have a conversation about things. We're not going to argue and yell at each other. And by the way, please, for the love of God, unless you really just want to entertain that insanity, you might want to keep Helicopter Guy far away from your channel. But
he's not bad. He's not that bad.
Stance because of you.
Not that bad. The dude can't. The dude is nuts, man. He's nuts. And this person here that you had on there, that perfectly reasonable individual.
Oh, there's something wrong with you.
Obviously, some upside down views towards things, and you could have easily talked around those things instead of just letting yourself be on it. Like,
no.
For one, it's like, okay, we're talking about the Anita thing. So here's the thing about it. Talking about that, like, well, I don't think she deserved all this harassment. Okay. GamerGate's the ones that harassed him. I said, and it's like, okay, well, we don't know if that's really who harassed her. Well, she was upset about, nobody was actually giving her critique, which that again wasn't true. And you didn't even mention that. You didn't even go into, no, people have critiqued her reasonably multiple times. She refuses to acknowledge it. She blocks all the comments on her videos. She does A, B, and C. Instead, you just kind of went along with it. Like, no, we didn't harass her. It was somebody else. It's like, dude, that's not what you're doing here.
Yeah. Well, I'm
going
not
too
sure.
defensive.
I'm not sure
Look,
though how much there's a reason for that. As a deliberate choice on my part. Not the defensive part, but the Anita part. Why didn't I bring up like, well, what about these people who have brought up reasonable critiques? The reason is I'm not sure if that's necessarily GamerGate related. I mean, it's tangentially related, but I don't know if like the people who make videos online criticizing Anita Sarkeesian or like write articles disagreeing with her videos or whatever. I'm not sure that that's like how important is that to GamerGate overall.
How is that important to GamerGate?
I made fun of Anita. That was funny.
Well, how is that important to GamerGate? How does that help GamerGate? It helps in the fact that, look, there is reasonable critique out there. And then you point out all of the critique that's considered, unreasonable and shit and garbage and harassing is constantly lumped in as, oh, well, those are the GamerGate guys.
Yeah.
You can always bring that up. It's, well, if it's good for me, if it's okay, it's not GamerGate. But if it's bad, then it's suddenly GamerGate. You have to bring those elements into it, like the Zoe Quinn thing, the discussion on, well, how was that an unethical review? It was unethical. He had a personal relationship with Zoe Quinn. It doesn't matter the fact that he didn't. It doesn't matter the fact that he's praising her game. He is praising her game when it's known that he has a private relationship with this individual. Ethically, he should have at least disclosed that he personally knew her. And that's what you could have pointed out instead of just being like, you just kind of jumbled all over that person's point.
You remember that time when fucking Zoe Quinn, she took a screenshot of the IRC client of Burgers and Fries, and she's like, I got him, when they were just discussing the Tumblr post that, what was his name, Aaron or whatever, the ex-boyfriend, and they're like, yeah, I got him, taking a picture.
That's true too. And there's another element here. This person kept on hammering, GamerGate is full of misogynists, GamerGate is full of sexists. You didn't bring up one bit how many of those that were involved on the anti-side that wound up actually being pedophiles and sexual predators. Like, what's his name? The one guy that was running a literal casting couch
in my first book, I've got like fucking like 30 of them.
I don't
think it matters.
I don't care about your book. You didn't say shit when it mattered. You're live in front of people debating GamerGate. You didn't say anything about that. This person is just going on about how horrible GamerGate people are when you could have been like, dude,
I did bring up Zack Attack. I tried to bring up Zack Attack too, though, but we ran out of time.
What would the point of bringing that up do, though? I mean, other than like saying that there's bad people on your side too. Like,
yeah, I also that's not my way of arguing.
Hold on, that's
it's
the
all
thing.
Garbage.
Well, that's the thing about that discussion is you're having this debate, and that person's argument is saying GamerGate is nothing but misogynists and bad people. By bringing that point up, you're saying, yes, you can say there's bad people, but you have just as shitty of people. What about Dan Olson, who literally posted actual child porn to try to dress it up as GamerGate doing it?
I don't know. I think that would just be a waste of time. You're just going to give her someone else to like pivot from. That was the big issue. You just kept pivoting, and you wouldn't like keep her on one thing. Like for one example, I really thought like that caught me off guard was how quickly she pivoted and you didn't like ram in. Was the conflict of interest thing? Like it was a pretty simple yes or no, and she didn't answer. You just let her move off. You could have nailed on that.
In any debate, in any discussion, whenever you ask a question that's a yes or no question, and you don't get yes or no, you get a bunch of words following that.
Yeah.
That means they're full of shit. And that's what you needed to call her out of on, because every time you're this person here is correct. Every time this person would pivot, they would pivot and pivot. You just walked right along with the pivot. You can't let that person dictate a discussion and a debate. You brought up a valid point. She's pivoting. So now you need to get her to come back and say, well, that's great and all, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about this. You keep fucking hammering on that subject.
Yeah, you're right. No, I agree. I agree. I definitely needed to do that.
Dude, you're
Tack,
talking
in
to
your-
a former intelligence analyst here, whose job is to research and brief things back in the day. I think I know a bit or thing or two about this.
No,
What do you
I
mean,
definitely I appreciate the
What do you
criticism.
mean you
and the
were? What do
feedback.
you mean you were an intelligent analyst? What were you doing? That sounds cool.
Well, I was in the Navy. I was an intelligence specialist.
Oh, okay.
If he told you, he'd have to
I was
kill
an
you.
Oh, cool.
intelligence
Another
guy.
guy working in the defense industry.
Listen, listen. I need to help you out, Tachyon. Okay, so why do you have your Discord in light mode but not night mode? People are gonna think you're weird.
True.
You
What
are
the fuck
weird.
is this all about? He's
Are
got
you
his fucking
retinas?
Discord. His Discord client is in white mode. It's not in dark mode.
Does that matter?
Yeah, because people
makes
are
you
gonna
lose
think
the debate
something's wrong.
instantly.
Yeah,
No one can
because
watch that
people
shit.
think that you're like weird or something.
Isn't
you're not.
that the
You're
default?
not. No.
Speaking of
No, it's actually not the default.
speaking of Tachyon, do you need some help learning how to stream? Because man, I can't. I'm sitting here smacking my damn head. How many
Alright.
times you were showing our DMs on live? I'm like,
Did I? Oh no!
Go
thank
to,
God I didn't say nothing bad.
go to
Oh
the
no!
gear,
Sorry.
go to the
Tack,
gear next. Listen,
Tack-
go. We need to fix this right now before he does anything. Go to the gear next to your name with the mic and the headset, and then go scroll down and go to appearance. We need to fix this right
I'm
now.
fine. It
We're
looks
gonna-
fine. I think. It
No,
looks
no, 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 no. Other
If
people
it
are gonna
looks
think you're
fine, it
weird.
looks fine. Let
No,
him
no,
have
no,
it.
no, no, that
If he
looks
wants to
weird.
if he wants to keep that, that's fine. But what you
Actually,
need to do,
Giga
Something's
Chad
wrong
would keep
with
it.
him.
just
Deep.
pop Tachyon right there in the voice chat room, right here in the main area. There is this thing called pop out. Click that.
Yeah, just hide that because
Click
it's gonna
it.
freak people out.
And
Right.
it'll make
Okay.
a whole new window with just
Oh!
this room.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
No. That's full screen. Back it up a little bit.
There it is.
Back it up.
There it is.
Flashbang.
I gotta
There
change
is.
it
There it is.
to.
He just hit it. He just hit it. He just hit the pop out.
Okay. Now, look. Everything you on here, everything's gonna be seen on there.
Yeah, we don't want to see.
And then you just
what
share
you
this
do.
with your OBS. Okay, almost said VBS. OBS. And then you don't have to share all that shit.
Yeah, because we just found out something about you that's weird.
Exactly. Only serial killers have light mode on their
Yeah,
fucking
is your
Discord,
Twitter
man.
set up that way too on light mode?
I
I
think
really
it
want
is.
to know.
I think it is.
It is. No, something's wrong with him. No,
Dude, I don't even have my Reddit set up in light mode.
You just
I have an
said that
extension
we
for my
know.
browser that makes
We
everything
know
night
something.
mode. I
It
hate
is
I know
light mode on
hate
Twitter.
light mode so much.
Something's really wrong with you right there. You
I
really
think
need
it
to
looks
get that
fine.
checked out.
But
No, that's
anyway,
the problem there. You
we're
think
getting
it
off
looks
topic.
fine.
all right.
Pat,
So
to be serious. Okay, first the DMs thing. After our Ukraine discussion 4 days ago, I literally sent you something kind of work related that I don't want the public to see. So A, learn how to use Discord, and B, you had a lot of good things in your intro. When you were going on about your intro, and it was like twice as long and more informative as the other person's, I was like, oh cool, this is going to be interesting. Then as the whole thing went on, like only about 5% of that intro was actually covered because you let her control the conversation, take up all your time, and you couldn't make like a single one of your points. So before you do any kind of rematch or whatever, or any sort of debate again, you need to learn how to retake control of the conversation, and also keep your voice level. Don't get angry, and for the love of God, do not make jokes. That CP joke you made in the first 5 minutes looked incredibly, really bad.
yeah, no, it did.
Yeah.
I did apologize at the end, but yeah, that did look bad.
You gotta be
when you
peaceful
were-
and persuasive, man. That's
When
it.
you-
Well, dude, she
yeah,
went
when-
out like way aggressive. I
Listen-
thought it was gonna be a good faith discussion.
Listen, if she wants to pee in a bag, let her pee in a bag. You know, just you let her get angry.
What did she say that like invoked that? Like, what? I must have missed something because just to me it sounded like she said something and you didn't like the response, and you just went straight to pedophilia.
Oh no, she's like
Okay.
that. She
You
said
missed
that. she said that 8chan hosts pedophilia, which I mean it fucking might, dude. I don't know, man. I don't. But
And then you called her a pedophile over
no, I
that?
said you'd know more about them than me, I guess. I don't.
I don't. That seems a little unprovoked, if you ask me.
I missed
Yeah,
that.
that was not great. I shouldn't have said
You
that. I agree.
literally said that.
I thought it was funny. I didn't even mean it as like a burn or anything. I just thought it'd be funny.
Okay. Let me explain something to you as well, Tachyon.
That was my coke.
There's one, when you go to a debate, especially on something like Gamergate, you're not going to get a good faith argument. It doesn't matter what's going on, especially with the opposing side, and they're going to think the same about us as well. As you're not going to give a good faith argument as well.
That's
I
not
mean-
entirely true. There are some people who do.
No, let's just look. It's just
not
like I
safe
always
to assume that.
Yeah, and if coming from the military and from the intelligence community especially, let me just say one thing. We do not assume, we assess. Because when you assume, bad shit happens. And that's exactly what happened today, is you assumed this would be a good faith argument. You always hope for the best, but you plan for the worst in every scenario. And here's the thing, when you go into a debate, especially a live debate where you're going to be talking to people and everybody's going to be watching you, the person you project into the public is going to be the person they are going to see, and you have to project a person who is going to be professional, who's going to come at this level-headed, so that when your opponent sounds like a fucking lunatic smashing a cleaver on the fucking bar screaming, I'm gonna kill the next motherfucker who comes in here, they look what they are, lunatics. Yeah. Instead, you're giving them the chance to make you look like the lunatic.
Yeah. No, I definitely, I let them get to me because I felt like it was so bad faith. I felt
when
like...
did you go crazy, though? Was it before or after you said the N-word? When did you lose it?
I think it was before the N-word.
It was the pedophile that first started.
The whole thing was about 2 hours long. I think even before the first hour had passed, it was already kind of a shit show.
You can say whatever you want. It ain't gonna make me look bad. I already make myself look bad, so it's all good.
I also think too that
you really gotta worry about Nurgle here, man. If you say something, it's gonna make a lot of other people look bad. I don't care.
The one thing though too is we were talking about the debate beforehand, and
he has a presence online.
He does.
Yeah, he has a presence online, so you gotta be careful. So
he's
he has
an
history with this.
He's an e-celeb.
Well, I don't know how big his channel is. It's probably got like over 20,000, maybe like 150,000 now. I don't know what he's got.
Dude, I got like 4 videos on there now that aren't private.
So, but the thing is too, I maybe this was a tactical error on my part, but I let them define the conversation even before the debate. But because they wanted to talk about Gamergate, and her central claim was Gamergate was about misogyny, right? So I said, well, we can debate just about misogyny, or do you want to open it up and debate anything about Gamergate? And they were kind of cool either way, but I'm like, this was like 4 days ago. I did like 15 hours of research since. But I didn't think I was. I'm like, dude, this is such a big topic. Like, what if they want to bring up some like super obscure thing like the con leaks? I'd have to research the con leaks now. Then I'd have to research Then I'd have to research Zack Attack. Then I'd have to research torrential downpour and all the aspects of ODM.
All right, here's what I need you to figure out.
It would be too much to try and like process in a 4-day period.
Here's what I need you to figure. I need to say one more thing, dude. You need to tell me. This is what needs to be in this book right now. Whatever the fuck happened to that sea lion?
Oh, dude, that's a good question.
I will buy the book if you find out what happened to that sea lion. I want to know. I will literally buy the fucking book. I'll send a picture. I'll be like, "Here's the book. I bought it."
I have like I have a couple of questions about like your arguments in general. Like, for one, the intro. What was the point of the? I mean, I know why you did it, but I don't know what you were trying to do with the video. Like, what was the point you're trying to put across that not everyone was a white sexist male?
Well, she says that we're misogynist, and so I thought Not Your Shield would be a really good
right
counter.
I don't. I'm assuming that when she says they're misogynist, she's not like talking about 100% of the people in it.
No,
Obviously,
she did.
some people
She
aren't.
said 2
Did
days
she?
ago, 3 days ago. Go on Foodshops stream 3 days ago, I think it was, 2 or 3 days ago. She said that everyone who was involved with Gamergate is either a misogynist or they were duped by the misogynists. But even if they were duped, there's probably some baseline level of misogyny there. That was like more or less her exact quote.
Got
Right
Okay,
then and
okay.
there should tell you that having a debate with this person wasn't going to be reasonable.
But then
to
we
begin
talked
with.
about.
getting duped.
Then we did a debate off air. We had like a whole conversation off air about like a whole bunch of shit, like the far left, the economy, her far left views on economics and other stuff too. I'm not gonna say because it was a private conversation, but we had a whole conversation off air, and she's like, "Wow, you actually seem pretty good faith." And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, okay, thanks. And she seemed like she was good faith in that discussion there in particular.
Here's how I got duped. Fucking simple. I got duped by the profiteers of Gamergate. Simple as that. So like technically there were victims where I wasted too much of my time on this and I never got back. So there's that. I mean, that's fucking almost all you guys can fucking fall into that one where like literally you feel like you got victimized because you never actually got what you wanted out of it, where you just wanted, I don't know, some articles that were, written fairly. So you never got any of that, and the only thing that you got
we wanted to harass women. What are you talking about?
You got robbed of your time.
Yeah.
And you got abducted by the profiteers of Gamergate. That was that.
Hey, but I did make like $200 off the first book though, so there's that.
I got $200, man. I could do something like that in the stock market in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Okay. So the video. I mean, again. So she said that it was. She generalized all the that Gamergate was misogynist. So you showed the video, but you didn't really talk about the video afterwards at all. So again, I still don't really understand why you did that. I mean, not to talk about it.
Yeah,
also,
dude, I let her control the conversation. Dude, you're 1,000% right, like 1,000%. Like I was on defense the whole time.
Because if she is going to make such a bad faith claim that like 100% of everyone was duped or just straight up misogynistic.
I want to know why you were on defense all the time.
Here's another thing that there's another aspect that you didn't throw in there is that whenever she was bringing up the whole Brianna Wu thing and you tried to go into all that, the thing is you forgot when you talk about the third party trolls and you talk about the others, the one thing that you didn't mention is how Gamergate was literally co-opted by third-party individuals in general. It was co-opted not only by the online trolls, it was co-opted by people like Sargon of Akkad, it was co-opted by Milo Yiannopoulos, Shuon Head, Mundane Fat, all of them.
But I think the whole point of the argument was that wasn't Gamergate.
Well, and hold on, but they were all in that, and they were all about the Gamergate stuff, especially Milo Yiannopoulos. And here's the thing, where have those channels gone now? Where have those individuals gone? Anita was one of them. Anita, one thing you didn't mention that you kept forgetting to mention is that Anita Sarkeesian's Tropes vs. Women predates Gamergate. Yeah. It was before Gamergate was even a thing. She was complaining about harassment before Gamergate even started.
Yeah,
remember Batman? But
if you listen to our first conversation about Gigi, we talked about it very briefly for like 20 minutes on Foodshops channel. She said that Gamergate started in like 2012. She said it started with Anita Sarkeesian. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's completely untrue.
The Gamergate thing didn't start until 2014, and it only started.
And you know what she said?
After the Gamers Are Dead articles, and that's the other thing was to say, look, why do you think people? Why do you think so many people did get involved in it? Is because Gamergate started with those articles.
Yeah,
when
I agree.
The entire reading base of readership from those sites suddenly goes, why is all of these sites claiming that that we're dead? What's up with this?
Yeah,
most of the people didn't even care. When all that,
it was conspiracy beforehand, and then like as soon as they threw out that article to fire back, then boom, that was the match that lit, and then that's when the entire hashtag started.
And when that hashtag started from there. That's when all the mainstream media could do was keep going. They're misogynists. They're misogynists. They're all misogynists. They just don't like They just don't want women and minorities in gaming and stuff. It's like, well, instead of all you did was fly along with what she had to say about it, you could have brought all of that up because it completely disables everything that she was trying to say. All of it. And then in that video, I get the Not Your Shield video. I get it. And damn, that video made me feel fucking old. But Jesus Christ, I'm 41 years old, dude. And GamerGate started, and I was in my early 30s. Okay.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
There's still another decade, to hope for.
And then when you want to bring up the harassment, what about that woman? The girl she had that that indie game that she was making, and she got basically shafted.
The capitalist, yeah.
I've not researched that specific
I remember putting
Jennifer Dahl, that was her name. What about her? She was completely shitted on by the entire gaming industry because she was involved with Gamergate. Then you had Liz Finnegan literally getting images mailed to her personal address and pictures sent to her of somebody busting a nut on the pictures.
Hey, don't forget about Total Biscuit when he was pro Gamergate for a time when he got attacked by the antis.
Exactly. And he came out there against them too.
What do you make of that one?
You had good. Here's the thing.
They were threatening to make sure they were taking away his reviews. They were threatening to take away all types of shit away from him, all his perks.
And then there was the censorship stuff. A lot of people didn't. That's the main reason Gamergate took off too, was censorship. People were like, "No, stop demanding developers change their fucking game because you're offended by it." Why do you think I got into such a long debate with One Angry Gamer back in the day over Mortal Kombat 11?
That's what I cared about more than anything.
Here we were for years telling these fuckers, stop demanding shit be censored and demanding they change their game. And then we had One Angry Gamer come out there saying, "Hey, motherfucker, you need to put the sexy stuff I demand in the game." Because that's why I argued against him in that shit.
Dude, One Angry Gamer was a piece of shit, dude.
Well, he wasn't a piece of shit until later on down the road.
Yeah.
But my point is, one of the big problems we had with Gamergate was they were bullying developers and bullying studios to censor stuff.
Well,
and making it look
like One Angry Gamer did that, right? One Angry Gamer did that.
Hold on. One Angry Gamer did that thing with the whole MK11 thing, and that pissed a lot of people off because we all called him out, and he tried to call us other things.
Yeah, I remember.
He tried to smear me as a sexist, remember?
Dude, vaguely, man. And then he went after Kung Fu Man, hardcore.
Did you bring up SPJ airplay during this debate so that way that you could tell them that the core function of Gamergate, actually tried to bring journalists together to talk about ethics?
No, I was on the defense the whole time, man.
And that was the other thing. You didn't even try to use SPJ, which was shut down. Why? Because of bomb threats.
Yeah, true.
Why didn't you do that one? That was easy. That was so easy. You freaking had all the freaking Society of Professional Journalists
why do you
together.
think I kept sending you message after message saying, "Dude, let me into the fucking call"? Because
it's a one-on-one.
Initially, not going. I don't give a shit. You say, "You know what? Look, my friend here can handle this better than me." You should have fucking just said, "My friend can handle this debate."
Hey, I'm sure she'll debate you if you want.
I don't want to debate her ass.
Should have changed your name to Hall of Debate. Then they would have let you in.
I would have just come in and I would have been cool with her. I'd have been chill.
You could have came in and said, "I am the Hall of Debate."
But
you're about
I was
to get
telling
wrecked.
you that I was going to do this. I initially declined your invite when I first got the word about this, and then I was like, after I saw that you started floundering, it's like, oh my god, just let me in there so I can fix this.
So, dude,
just let me fix it. Let me fix it. It's like the fucking Flash movie.
I went in
to fucking try to fix it.
So I went in.
And I'm not
I did like
fun
so
of you,
much. I did so much fucking research for this, dude. Like, oh my, look at this. This is all.
And you just got blown out of the water and thrown into the defense. You think that's not a tactic? It is.
See, that is a that's a tactic that, and I don't like using this term much anymore because it's really a stupid term. But that's a tactic that the SJW type people utilize, and they utilize it well.
Yeah,
it's all about
all
getting
this garbage.
It's all about getting you on the defensive constantly. Why do you think they say stuff like, well, you're just a racist, you're just a bigot, you're just a sexist, blah, blah, blah. Why do you think they say that? Because
dirty arguments.
Yes. Because all they're going to do, because they know you're going to respond with, I'm not a sexist, I like women, I'm not a racist, I like blah, blah, blah. They're going to get you to say that stuff.
Stupid.
Okay? What you do is you throw the same discussion back at them.
I want to say
you got a shitty moderator for it too. Fucking terrible moderator who was already biased.
I will honestly say he moderated it fine. He did what his job was, which is stay out of the debate. Let them
how would the moderator allow all that crap in? That moderator should have never let that crap in.
What do you mean by all that crap?
But what he was just saying.
The moderator's only there to keep the debate civil. The moderator's only there to say,
no, you need hardcore. We need Nurgle to run as a moderator again. Let's get him.
Yeah, well, I would have done exactly what this moderator.
We're done with this.
I wouldn't interject.
We're done with this Warhammer thing. We're gonna go back.
I don't know. I think the moderating was fine.
I would still prefer to do the Warhammer thing. Let me just get this straight. That's a lot more fun.
Here's the thing with the moderator.
We're done with this.
Here's the thing with the moderator. If they didn't say anything during that discussion besides telling you, Tack, to tone down the questionable language, if they let the other person kind of get all their points in, that's not on the moderator's.
Cut them off.
That's not the moderator's responsibility.
I'll cut them off. It'll be my responsibility.
That's Tack's responsibility to respond well to it.
I'll just chop it off.
To not get to not let the other person control the narrative. This is
up to the moderator. It's up to the moderator, DG, man. You just go.
We probably should have talked beforehand about what role
I'd be
we want the
like,
moderator to have. Out. But
get out! I chop it all off.
That's on me.
No, there's no book on moderating. Just be chop.
Something I think you should have done better too.
Get your garbage arguments out of here.
Probably, I guess, disown the harassers more. Because what you would do is anytime she would call them like GamerGaters, you would just say those weren't GamerGaters, which is like you can't really prove that either.
Well, it's her. The burden of proof's on her to prove it, right?
Right. But I mean, you shouldn't just say they weren't either, right?
I mean, but she has to prove that they are.
So but they just lie with their feet off. They don't.
You just kind of open yourself up.
People have to run around and chase
pivot
that truth
by just making that claim that they aren't.
Yeah,
she can just throw it around on you. Essentially, I just think it would just probably be a better job to just not try to claim them that they are either.
Besides, Tack, we also don't know what goes on in DMs or private messages. For all we know, stuff might have went down that neither you nor I nor anyone else here knows about. There are some things we just have to accept happened and disavow it.
Yeah. Well, I did. I think I was very clear. I don't stand for any kind of harassment or sexism.
Yeah. You don't.
Right?
Well, yeah. I mean, everyone agrees with that, but that wasn't the question. The question was whether the harassers are GamerGaters, and you weren't really doing a good job. Because from the outsider looking in, it just looked like you were the guy defending GamerGating harassment. Because I just saying, oh well, they weren't. They weren't GamerGaters.
Point to a specific person. I mean, if it's a GamerGater, I'll obviously, but I condemn all harassment.
I engaged in a little bit of harassment. In fact, I remember me harassing you, Tachyon.
What'd you do?
Well,
I can't remember too much about it, but I used to go on a different Twitter account and make fun of you on Twitter all the time.
I disavow.
I would sit there and call you nut scrape. I remember. Yeah, I remember this. I would call him nut scrape.
I'm a big boy. I can handle insults, whatever. I don't care about insults. I care about
But then there was also I'd also call you Nettie.
Oh, I don't care about that. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just gonna say, the main thing I'm gonna say is this, Tachyon, is regardless of what's going on with the debate and all that, GamerGate is a thing that it was 9 years ago. It was a big event for a little while, at least to us and to several others. I think it's time that we just stop talking about it. And I think it's time we stop doing anything about it and stop even thinking about it anymore. It's just it's old, it's dumb, and I mean, I know the mainstream media loves to dredge it up because they still need their little whipping boy, but it's funny when they dredge it up and everybody's just like, what the fuck are y'all talking about now? Because no one really cares anymore about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, I get it. Okay, so you're going to write this book, and then it's going to help with this career. What career is this whole thing? I want to know about.
Well, I mean,
here.
it's not even like a career thing, but it's like it could be potentially. But
I
it's
want
like
to hear about this hobby that will make you like popular. Let's hear about this.
I don't even care about being popular. I just want I find it fun and interesting. But
you think that it'll make you like an author or like a researcher in a field or what?
No, I think that it could be useful to going through the massive amounts of information about GamerGate and studying that and researching it, and then like studying it live too, and having like fact checking, and then publishing like a super well regarded, or at least like super unbiased, at least, right? As unbiased as possible encyclopedia. I think that would be like a very good goal to have, and I could also translate those skills later on into writing books about other historical events like the Iraq War,
like a anthropologist type of thing. Okay. Have you been like speaking at universities or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
I think it's
I just came up with this idea last night.
Personally,
whoa!
I don't think it's pointless to talk about. I don't think
I don't think it's pointless to talk about either.
It's I mean, in some ways, I would argue it like brought the culture war into the mainstream, and in that regard, I would say it was pretty important just for the fact that how the culture war is super popular, like prevalent today. So it's probably a good idea to look back on it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think that. Well, I do know that after the GamerGate thing went off, then people then started to notice the trend of a lot of the, I guess, the woke ideology stuff started to appear, was starting to slowly creep into everything else, and people were starting to wonder, like, when did all this happen? And you can look back at GamerGate, well, it's kind of started with GamerGate when they tried to come after the video game industry, and they worked their hardest to just completely usurp it and take over. But the problem is, and now when you look at what's going on today, like, Anita Sarkeesian shutting down her shit because, well, the group isn't working anymore. All these companies that pushed all this woke shit in their games are all flopping and failing and going bankrupt. And you are seeing the movie industry starting to look and say, maybe it's time to change some things. Look, I'm sorry, but it's no coincidence that as soon as that Supreme Court hearing ended with the DEI thing, that the DEI, or well, not the DEI thing, but the with that college campus affirmative action thing, suddenly all the DEI places were getting fired and canned at places like Disney and Netflix and all that other shit.
Disney's failing because they're making bad movies.
Well, no, it's not just that. I mean, the point that I'm trying to get at is, when you look at the underlying factor of all the Disney movies that are failing and flailing, what's the big underlying factor? A lot of them pushed a lot of woke ideology crap. A lot of them were results of these.
You really think they're failing because of ideology?
No, I think that's a factor in it. It's not just bad writing. There's a big factor in
on the last year they did very well because they had a good boom 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 with Star Wars and Mandalorian and all that stuff. But now people don't want to pay for Disney Plus because they already watched all that shit.
All right, guys.
Well, I get what you're saying. What I'm trying to say is, it's no coincidence that stuff is. You look closely.
Do you think that it's gotten a little bit higher than last year? I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, some of that stuff.
I gotta go.
Declining. Have a good one.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm probably gonna be closing this down. Of course, you guys can still keep talking if you want, and if you want, me to raid you, Nurgle? Are you live?
Right. No, I'm not live.
No,
Nurgle, can I ask a question, please?
What's up, man?
With the whole affirmative action thing and all the DEI stuff getting canned afterwards, if you have any news articles on that off the top of your head, could you DM them to me, please? Maybe, because I'd actually like to read about that. I kind of followed that affirmative action thing pretty closely.
Oh, Lisa wants on now too.
There's nothing you can do about that. I mean, that shit happened. Everything's imploding.
I have to look back. It's like none of the articles actually go into linking the two together. It's just, when that affirmative action thing happened, either right before it happened or after it, a bunch of different companies started canning all their DEI people. Disney was one of them. Netflix was one, and there's a couple others, but I can't think of them off the top of my head.
Yeah,
But
they
if
don't
I
have
find
to.
something,
They
I'll
don't
shoot
need
it
it.
away.
They
But
don't need to have them around because they don't have to worry about those fines. So it's like, boop, out you go.
And a lot of them too. That's another reason why they did is because they saw the DI thing. They were like, well, if they're going to get sued because so and so was refused entry, then we can get sued because we didn't allow this person to take this job or to have this job because we wanted to give it to a minority or something. They were like, oh shit, we can get sued now too. That's why they're doing that. And like I said too, some of the ideology stuff here's the thing. Last year it wasn't nearly as prevalent in the mind in the public eye of like a lot of the culture stuff, a lot of the weird culture war stuff that was going on with some of these movies, especially Disney. It wasn't as prevalently known. In the past year, since the beginning of this year, it has become much more in the wider population to be known and seen. And
the Bud Light incident.
Thing.
You go down to the bar, you order a Bud Light, you get ostracized at the bar. Fucking
I would honestly say that, and I'm not, and like I'm not an anti-LGBT guy or anything like that, but I will say that.
But it happens.
This past Pride Month, I honestly felt like this was more of an anti-Pride Month than I did seeing it being a pro-Pride Month, because a lot of the companies that embraced something Pride related, they were getting a lot more pushback than what they usually get. And then, with not even just Bud Light being one of them, but then there's the other cases with
Harley Davidson. That was another one that kind of got
Harley Davidson got another one too. I heard about that.
That was so bad. They were like,
but also
firing all their salesmen and trying to save money.
But also, you started seeing even more in like you started seeing more of the public getting more notice on, or seeing the mainstream public started to notice and see more stuff coming out about some of the trans kids and trans stuff that was going on, like the drag shows and all that stuff. That started becoming more mainstream public news over the last year as well, which didn't help a lot of that culture war stuff either, and made things a lot worse.
What would it be, like a threshold or something? You broke like a threshold. Like that was it. Enough is enough. And the news started attacking them because they wouldn't drink Bud Light.
Well, and now look too, with a lot of the issues going on with Disney, you're starting to see mainstream media coming back and saying, well, Disney needs to fix something. Disney is fucked up and all of this, and they're pushing back against Disney now. The point of what the main thing is, what you're seeing is you are seeing a political pendulum swing, because this is a natural reaction. Years and years ago, we had the same reaction. It was when the pendulum went from the right to the left. Now we're seeing it go from the left to the right. Sometimes it takes decades. Sometimes it takes a few years. But the one thing that is true is the further and further that pendulum is allowed to swing, the harder and harder it swings back. And that's what you've been seeing the past year. And Gamergate, I would say, was kind of the part that started a lot of that pendulum swing, because it wasn't really noticed what was going on with the culture war stuff. But after that, you started seeing more and more and more of it. I'm seeing more and more people that, that don't engage themselves with the internet, that don't engage themselves with any of that stuff, suddenly going, what's up with this weird woke shit?
I know is,
like, why was Marvel? Since when was Iceman gay in Marvel Comics and stuff like that?
All I know is I made sure I put a put option against Bud Light. I made a put option against Disney, and then I put a put option against what was the other one? Harley Davidson. And I made a profit off of them losing their money.
All right, well, seriously, guys, I do gotta wrap this up. Lisa, you said you want to give your thoughts on the debate.
What the fuck?
You saw the debate?
She watched most of it.
She and I were both cringing hard at you.
Yeah,
we and her were DMing the whole time about you, man. We were like, God damn, dude, we feel so sorry for you right now.
My question is, why Okay, and I mean no disrespect when I say this. Why the fuck did this even need to happen in the first place?
We just thought it could be fun, mostly.
Oh.
Tack, I've told you this
Buddy, I think
before.
you
I'm
and I
gonna
have different definitions of fun.
Tack, I've told you this before. I'm
Did
gonna
this start with a Reddit post somewhere?
sorry, Lisa, were you still in the middle of something?
Sorry.
Okay, I guess I'll just go on. Tack, I've told you this before. I'm going to say it again. Stop framing everything as a debate. Frame it as a discussion. Framing things as a debate automatically makes you think more defensively. You're not... It makes you think like you're there to win, not to just learn and talk and exchange ideas. And I think this is why... well, we already talked about why the narrative around Gigi is so messed up, because everyone gets defensive. This is why the Wikipedia article is the way it is, because every time someone questions it, they get defensive and all that stuff. So eventually no one's going to worry about neutrality. They're just going to be so pissed off at how obnoxious we're acting and just run with it. So before thinking about having a debate, think about having a talk. You understand?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's in this space. Any sort of talk with an opposition person is, seen as a debate, though. It seems.
Here's the thing: you're thinking opposition and debate again. Stop thinking like that. Just think, this is another person we might disagree. I might disagree with, but I want to learn more from them. Just frame it as that.
That's what I wanted the conversation to be. My whole opening thing was deliberately designed so we can help have like a positive framing and explore the issues in like a healthy way.
You still called it a debate in your video. Call it a discussion, like you do with the discussions we have on your channel, like about democracy, about Ukraine. You frame it as a discussion. You don't frame it as a debate.
Yeah, I mean, every time you remember back in the day when I used to get anti-GamerGate people on my streams all the time back in the day, and we didn't have arguments, we didn't have fights, we didn't do any of that shit. Sometimes they were like 3 to 4 hour long streams of us just having a good time, bullshitting, talking about anything and everything.
You should have called it a shit show or a bullshit session.
And you know what, though? Never once did we call it a debate. We just called it a conversation, a discussion. And we did disagree with each other on a lot of different things. And we talked about those things. But we never once, got defensive with each other. And as soon as someone started trying to put one of us on the defense, we just dropped it and said, fuck that. We're not here to fucking argue about this bullshit. We're here to just fucking chill. Why do you think I had a problem with Helicopter Guy? Because when Helicopter Guy was on the channel, not on my channel, when he was on the other channels, when we got offline, the motherfucker still wouldn't drop his act, and we're like, dude.
Helicopter Guy was a debate
what
bro.
He is.
That's what he does.
He's not a debate bro. He's a fucking moron.
That's not an act. Calling that's what he is.
If he's a fucking debate pro,
no debate
then I'm
bro.
Goddamn,
debate
bro.
If
he's a debate bro. Oh, I thought you said he was a pro. I'm like, God damn, dude, get out.
No, not pro. I mean, he's not bad though. He's not bad at debating.
I'm gonna send a mat to your house, and it's gonna say debate pro on it, so you can put it up.
All right. Anyone got anything else?
Why didn't you read the chat and get her to say the high mark?
Why didn't you read the chat? What's
Dude,
up that?
I was getting distracted by the chat a couple times. I decided not to.
Giving stock advice, and you were not reading anything.
What'd you have to say, Lisa? You were about to say something.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, thank you all for watching. Could have been a better debate.
Go write your book.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Write the book. I will buy it. Send me a DM. I will buy it.
All right.
I don't care.
Well, hey, yeah, thanks again for watching, everybody. Thanks for joining on to talk about it after. And you, of course, you're welcome to stay in here and keep chatting if you want. Yeah, it's I'll probably have to take the video down and then re-upload it with that one part clipped out.
If you're gonna sell a book, you make sure that you have signed copies. Yeah, I want a book with
But
your signature
in
on
the
it.
meantime, if anybody missed it in the meantime, you're welcome to check out Foodshops.
No, I just checked it out.
Stream.
It's a shit show channel.
No, I
I'm
meant the
done with
stream.
that.
Like while
I went to a
while this is
channel
down.
just now. It's like, no, that's not something I'd be interested in. I'm here for a
Stay hydrated,
GamerGate.
everyone. It's fucking hot out there.
Here for a GamerGate discussion.
It's only hot out there because I'm here.
Right. Good to meet.
Okay,
good to meet you all.
Winterstorm.
Right. Good to meet you all. Make sure you learn better public speaking than TAC. Go join a Toastmasters club if one's in the area.
Damn.
I can
Or just start fighting people in the street.
All right, I'm
All right,
gonna
Yeah, we can
I'm
do
gonna
that too.
raid. I'm gonna raid some people. So
Have a good one.
have a good one. Thanks for coming on.
We'll talk later, Tachyon.
Yeah, you guys can keep talking in here if you want, even for off air, if you want to.
That's cool. I'm probably gonna jet in a couple of minutes so I can go join my talk to my friends stream on my friend Lady Spookaria because
Okay, cool.
she's cool.
What are you guys talking about?
Oh, I'm not going on her stream. I just go hang out and watch her stream because
Ah.
she's awesome. Lady Spookaria, she's one of the horror narrators.
Well, hey, if I got nobody I know, I could stream them. I could raid them right now. Actually, give them all of our viewers.
They're on YouTube.
I'm on YouTube as well.
Well, I'll send you
yeah, that's where I was
a
watching the stream.
thing. I'll send you a thing for it. But yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
send me the link. I'll go ahead and raid them.
Let me see. Let's see. There you go. It's on its way, sir. God damn this thing. This fucking thing. I think it went. I don't know. Fucking A. Fuck this motherfucker. There. I sent it to you. There.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna show your DMs on screen this time. I could probably
Yeah,
edit
we're gonna
that part out
talk-
too if you want.
I'm going to have to teach you how to work with Discord and streaming, sir.
Yes.
You and me. You and me. Well. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah,
Lisa,
I'm
hold
out too.
on.
Have a good one.
Hey, did you,
Yep.
when you get when y'all, especially you, Lisa, when you get a, okay. I'll talk to her later.
Never
then.
mind.
All right. I was
See
about
ya.
to say something to her. All right. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
I'm doing good.
What's up?
You're echoing.
I'm sorry, what did you say? Oh, yeah, I had your stream on the background. Sorry, on my computer.
Okay.
What do you think of the debate?
I think you guys got lost in the weeds a lot. But then overall, actually no, I don't think you guys got lost in the weeds a lot actually, than I thought. And you guys did a lot less ad hominems than I thought as well. And also, when do you have to sleep again?
Well, I was staying up because I got to re-upload the videos. I'm sure you do too.
Yeah, hold on. Let me rewatch it back just to see what my thoughts were, because I remember I did have specific thoughts.
Well, you said that you wanted to help Ninetails like learn more, do better in the future, but you also
because I
thought that
remember
you were.
because she was doing things that I was telling myself, I was like, oh my god, don't do this, don't do that, but then I couldn't just give her like these tips in the middle of the fucking like thing, you know what I mean? Obviously, I was a fucking moderator. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting too because I think you and your community see that debate differently than I do.
Yeah, because you felt like you lost, right?
I did, and I feel like it's a learning opportunity for me. I feel like I let the GamerGate community down. I feel like I presented myself and our community in not a great way. I think that I should not have made that joke where I said, "Oh, you know more about that than me." That was wrong. I think that I allowed myself to get more emotional and heated.
No, you actually, no, you actually looked like you won.
No,
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yes.
My community disagrees. Actually, my community thinks
I saw your stream where your own community was bashing you, but it was only because I think your community has a higher standard for you. And I think your community may have judged you a little unfairly. Hold on.
No, I think they were right. I think that as someone who wants to represent myself and represent GamerGate in this capacity, I feel like I have to be better.
No, but then they were judging you from the fucking GamerGate angle. You know what I mean? Like the GamerGater angle.
Which is the angle that matters in this case, right?
No, but the whole point is the angle from like an outsider's perspective, right? Because you're talking about the optics from a, huh?
Sorry, I shouldn't have cut you off. I'm sorry. Can you please? I'll mute myself.
No, you're good. Don't worry about it, bro. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to pop the VOD. Why the? Oh. I just want to rewatch the VOD. That's all I want to do. Bro, this mooncake sucks. Oh, here it is. Also, who the fuck did you let down? Dude, is there even a community left? What the fuck? Like, I didn't mean to offend or anything.
There are those of us who were involved that keep in touch. And then also, I let myself down too, and that's more important to me actually.
Nah. Hold on.
Yeah, your people are all saying I did well and won.
Hold on.
I don't know why. I mean, maybe because I acted more like a fucking Twitch poll streamer than I did a fucking GamerGate.
No, the way you came off felt a lot more like justified anger, if that made sense. Like it felt like justified anger rather than like somebody like, oh, let's calm down or whatever like that. Like it felt like you built up to the anger. That's why I felt justified, if that made sense.
It was real anger. I honestly, I was so upset with myself after this debate. I felt like I did so poorly, actually, and I took it at first. I was really negative and hated, and then I also recognized I did really good with the opening statement, and then I recognized also that I did really good on the research. What I didn't do good at was controlling the conversation, and what I didn't do good at, I let her play offense the whole time, and I also wasn't good at, and I shouldn't have made that joke I made. That was. I mean, it was obviously a joke in the context. Everyone could do that, but it was still obvious. It was not. It was a low blow. I shouldn't have said that. I did apologize for that in the closing statement. That was wrong, and I shouldn't have said the GNAA's name out loud.
No, you're good. No, I'm not.
But aside from that, I mean, and yeah, I feel like those are things I have to learn from. If I want to like actually do good stuff in this space and actually like be a positive change in the world.
Wait,
I want to do that.
Let me see the stuff that you did. Let me just skim through the debate and just review it real quick. Okay, hold on. But it's also
I find that part where I said that. I've tried like so many times in like open shot to try and find.
Hold on. Let me just share the thing and we can go through it really quick. Okay.
All right.
No. And then the other extreme side, which is nope.
Nearly 150 games journalists across competing publications were in a private mailing group and had used that group to blacklist game developers.
Okay.
Fuels this hate-filled, one-dimensional thinking, male-oriented environment. Actually examine the real timeline of this movement, which is that the thing I agreed most with was that they didn't get their outcries published. But to begin with, their outcries were mostly directed at.
Well, hang on, I'm not gonna let you dodge the 8chan point though. 8chan was a free speech platform. Right now, I'm live on Kick. So is Foodshops here. We're both streaming on a free speech platform where, guess what? There's going to be people who have crazy views. Right now, there's probably white nationalists and red pill people and misogynists streaming right now
8chan
on
is comparable
Kick.
to Kick.
Wait. One time. Yeah, go ahead.
Quantify all the violence that happens. They point to how they found the most cases on 4chan.
Most cases of violence, or what? Well, first off, I don't think there was any
No, the
well
most samples.
violence involved with
The most
GamerGate.
We
samples.
can check after the debate. We can check after the debate. It's fine.
No, she's gone media tours saying that GamerGate
Yeah, she
is
can do media
trying to
tours.
destroy
That
her.
doesn't discount what I said. You're reframing what she actually said.
If she wanted to caveat her statement and say, "Hey, look, this person harassed me. That person looks like they are actually a supporter of GamerGate. I've done the research. Looks like they are." Okay, then yeah, absolutely, I'll condemn that person 1,000%.
So you don't think that people can like make natural associations between them rushing with a movement that has already harassed other female game developers?
But it hasn't, though.
journalists?
And there were
That is
you also
It
you
harassed
you
Zoe
guys
Quinn.
were harassing tons
It
of
had
people.
harassed Zoe Quinn. It had harassed Anita Sarkeesian. It had harassed several other people that you
Yet you have yet
mentioned,
to prove
but
any of
brushed
this.
past. You can only brush past these instances of victims. But once we actually examine the victims, all you can do is pretend like it didn't happen.
Wait, did I ever say that they were never harassed by anybody?
So here's her own quote: "By attacking me so viciously, they're helping give me."
Okay, so the thing is that naturally you were at a more of a disadvantage in this debate, and I can't understand why you felt like you lost, even though so here's the thing, all right, is that you're the one who naturally had to be on the defense. The reason is because oh, this is actually so smart. I realize it now. Is because Nine has a claim, and that claim is that the GamerGate movement is misogynistic, right? But then
Yeah, that was the whole debate. That's what we agreed to.
Yeah.
The debate.
Yeah, but then she turned it back on you. Instead of the burden of proof being on her, now she turned it into an attack plan on you the entire time. So when it should have been the burden of proof on her instead, during the debate, which is interesting. But also another thing is that a part that she sabotaged herself on was that she took on too many fights at once, which is why I don't know what, because I saw the one with you and your buddies, and I don't know what your buddies were criticizing you on, and I don't know if they ever brought this up, but Nine was taking on too many battles at once. For example, she almost had you at certain points. She had you in a corner and you couldn't escape. But then she automatically jumped to another point, and then it was a whole new claim that she would make. But then the thing is, she had to substantiate that point with new supporting points, with new supporting arguments, and new buildup that she simply does not have room for in order to substantiate it. Like, for example, she could have you in a corner about something where you would then have to defend yourself. But then she would say like, oh, but then it's about the patriarchal system, or so. Not saying she said that. I'm just giving this other thing as an example. But then she would then have to substantiate that grand claim, right? But then now you have an out of the previous point or something like that, right? So you constantly get out of different corners, which allows you to flow freely from point to point. I don't know. So which is why it made you look better in the arguments in my audience, if that made more sense, I think.
No, it doesn't. As someone who, everyone in my audience probably,
I don't know.
Like 90%, they probably all know. Like they all know all the fucking minor details too. Which obviously Ninetails didn't know a lot about any of the specifics, really. Mostly.
Yeah, the thing is, And I guess the thing is, I think your side, the GamerGaters, from what I understand, is that your GamerGater friends, when they were watching the debate, they were expecting you to pull up very specific scenarios and very specific examples of scenarios where anti-GamerGaters were harassing GamerGaters to put her on the defense and you on the offense, so then you can trap her in a scenario where she was in a corner and you were the wolf that was closing in on her, but you never got the chance to do that because she was constantly putting you on the defense. So that was what they were hoping for, but it never ever happened. However, from our scenario, since we don't know any specific GamerGate scenarios, we don't know the nuances or the specific situations around that, we can only expect you to be on the defense. Does that make more sense?
Yes, and also,
Okay.
to be clear though, the people who thought that I should have gone on the offensive by bringing up the people that anti-GamerGate harassed, that was only a portion of my community. Others in the GamerGate who were part of the GamerGate movement, looking back now, those individuals, some of them have diverse views. For instance, some of them on the panel believed that's not really going to prove anything. All that's going to show is that her side's bad too. So what we really need to do is try and address the central claim. Essentially, like that, which is what I tried to do there, but I didn't do a good job of it. And then like try to like go on the, when they say go on the offensive, some of them meant something different by that. Some of them meant that they, I think what they meant was that they wanted me to bring up more pro GG stuff, actively advocate for that. GG wasn't just this falsely maligned group. We were actually a group of people who were really unfairly treated. All right, I was talking about this with my friend in real life. He came over, and we talked about the debate a bit. We were talking about that in real life, and I told him, I said, my conscious experience as a person is actually degraded to some small degree because we were so falsely maligned, right? My life experience and the experience of other GamerGaters, because we had this false misogynistic claim levied against us, is worse.
Okay.
And I think that's like I think it's horrible how they've treated us.
Okay.
I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm here to treat you terribly again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
kidding,
okay. All right.
Wait, are you guys done with debate review or?
No. The at the end of the day, there's some things. I think at the end of the day, if you felt like you did worse. No, like you said, you were correct, right? The reason I don't think you and your buddies on the thing there gave you good criticism. That one guy who said the most retarded, most remedial criticisms, right? The person who said I was on the Navy, I was like an intelligence officer, whatever the fuck.
Nerdle's a good guy. I know. Nerdle's a good guy.
Okay. I agree with him on the point that you should drop GamerGate as a whole. I agree with that point. But the thing is, the other point with him going like, oh, you should bring up the thing with like the GamerGate, bring whatever. I can only address that in the sense that you should use that to go against Nine's points of like that thing on a pure strategic thing, but on the specific point that you shouldn't bring that up in the first thing, because then it's like, okay, it doesn't prove that. It can only show that, okay, like the maximal it will prove is that both sides were toxic, right? Like I agree with that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, obviously, I have more to say about the debate, and there's a lot of advice I want to give to Nine later. Okay, maybe not. I don't know, when we have a chance to talk one-on-one only. All right, but yeah. I mean, Yoon wants to talk to you apparently. So
yeah, I DM'd him. I'm not ambushing him.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if he wanted to talk now. Like, I don't really.
I can go brief.
Yeah, he's psychologically crushed. Okay, so you.
Okay.
You...
Well, I'm here to double down.
I'm
here to crush him further.
Not anymore.
Dude,
I feel like
no. I skimmed it, and like I don't know. Like it didn't seem like you lost. Like at minimum, it felt even. But I didn't listen super close.
So both you and I felt like you won. That's our consensus. Yeah.
I would slightly lean you, and again, I don't want to talk too much about it because again, I didn't watch the whole thing, or even like I watched like parts of it, like at like 2 minutes at a time. But it felt like you had like more, I don't know, like specific claims, but I guess I'm like biased towards being convinced by those as opposed to like, I guess her characterization of the movement, even though like honestly, like if I were to present like my current opinion on Gamergate as I understand it, it's just like seems like there was a lot of harassment, like an unacceptable amount, and I feel like I would probably disagree with you on that basis because I know we both agree that there was harassment, but I think the disagreement we would have is how prevalent it was.